day, another mountain. What's up, guys? Coming to you from the lovely hills of Saarland in Germany. I figured I would do something different for now. Just kind of waiting out the quarantine and hanging around, trying to enjoy this beautiful weather. Just got off of a insanely beautiful hike today. Covered a lot of ground, saw some great views, and look at this weather. This is amazing. So I was scouring some of my most popular videos, which are the rucking videos, and that's pretty cool. So while I'm running my mouth, you guys get to enjoy this beautiful view behind me, and I'm going to put out some information and show you guys some things, and hopefully answer your biggest questions on rucking. Let's get to it. This is in response to one of the comments that I put on somebody else's comment to one of my videos. I was mentioning that my first deployment, I switched to just plain white cotton socks to wear, mainly because of the environment and the lack of access to boot socks when I was over there. So this guy's like, cotton socks? Hell no, you need wool. Okay, well, I understand the passion. I came in the Army in '03 when it was still just plain leather boots and those black wool socks. And coming from the Gulf Coast, a humid environment, going to basic training at Benning, in a humid environment, my feet were just, it was bad. It was like a swimming pool of slime, sweat. It was not good. So my first time in Iraq, I think I had 7 pairs of socks, whatever they issued me, maybe a couple that I bought from clothing sales for like 12 bucks a piece. And, we didn't really get to do laundry a lot. So you could order Hanes socks, those plain, a pack of like, I think 9 to 10, maybe 12 pairs of socks for like 4 bucks. So that was our PT socks at the time, just plain white socks, and they couldn't be ankle socks. They had to go all the way up. So I just started wearing my white socks around, and they actually authorized it in Iraq around that time. And I noticed my athlete's foot issues I was having, they all went away. And yeah, if you're starting off rucking and you're just balls to the wall going, just putting on plain white cotton socks, it's going to tear your feet up. It's not something I would recommend. However, considering the environment you're in and how you're walking, white socks just worked out the best for me. And like I said, you could get a big old pack of them for cheap as hell. And I guess most importantly, if you want to try it, you should make that switch when your feet are already toughened up. And I made a video on toughening up your feet for rucking, so go check that one out. So when your feet are already leathery tough, you've identified all the hot spots, you're no longer having blisters, then you can start to experiment with whatever socks you want. And for me, if I'm just hauling butt, rucking, really moving hard, hitting the pavement hard, I prefer a blend of cotton and synthetics because I get the breathability of cotton and I get the elasticity and the form fitting of the synthetic, because just plain cotton, if you're not used to it, just like wool, it's going to bunch up in your socks and come loose and create hot spots and blisters. But if you want the form fitting tightness of synthetics, that's what the synthetic cotton blends are really good for. Wool, I've tried in the winter, I've tried in the summer, I could never get behind wool socks. A lot of that's personal preference, so we'll move on from there. All right, so this guy says, I have a 10 kilogram vest and a 10 kilogram ruck. Is this good, or should I put it all in the ruck? Okay, 10 kilograms is about 22 pounds for us Americans. So for my education and my personal experience, I would say you're better off putting it all in the ruck, especially if you have a good ruck, like the Alice pack, because that kidney pad in the frame pushes the ruck off your back a little bit. So if you load it properly and you have the ruck pushed out a little bit, that forces you to lean forward just a little bit, which makes you contract your intra-abdominal muscles, not the rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscles. We're talking about the deep inner core muscles, the ones that are the most important for protecting your spine. In my Everything You Need to Start Rucking video, I mentioned that I have 3 herniated discs from my service, and my back feels better when I go rucking than it does if I just go for a walk. Well, I learned over the years that it's because that leaning forward just a tad, first of all, that pad braces my back, so it stabilizes my lower back and makes all the movement come from the hips. That's what you need. But also leaning forward just a tad engages those intra-abdominal muscles, which, you can look this up. This is science. Your intra-abdominal muscles, it's the same ones you use to squat and deadlift to protect your spine. So a weight belt mimics that, okay? So I say put all the weight in your ruck. Make sure your ruck comes out a little bit. If not, you do need to find a way to lean forward just a tad to engage that core. You'll never have back problems. If you're young and otherwise fit and healthy and you have a strong core, you can load up all the weight you want on your shoulders and you'll be okay. It might take its toll on your body after a while, especially if you start to slouch and have poor posture and your core gets weak. That's what messed me up in Ramadi, Iraq, was all the weight on my vest. I had terrible core strength and it destroyed my spine. So especially for beginners, make sure you're working on your core. Don't do 1,000 crunches and all six-pack crap. Do true core work. I'm probably going to put up a video on that, how to really stabilize your spine in working out. And that'll carry over into everything else you do in life. All right, so great advice, but what about people with kids? That's an awesome question. I have 2 kids, and I got the kid rucksack where you put the kid back there, and the ones with the frame, not those ergo things. I could never do those. My first kid hated it because he hated strollers and everything. If he wasn't moving around, he couldn't do it. My next kid loved it. He would actually fall asleep in it. So you can find a really good baby ruck or kid carrying ruck, whatever you call it. You can find a really good one for very cheap. I think I paid 17 bucks for mine, which was around 15 euro in a German flea market. And it was awesome. So make sure you get one that fits really well. Make sure it's safe for the kid and make sure you can actually move with it. Hike with your kids. You're getting your workouts. You're showing them the outdoors. You're introducing them into a fit lifestyle early. And it's also more of a challenge because it's not like a rucksack where you can pack it evenly and the load is distributed. They're going to be moving around back there doing all kinds of crazy shit. And it's just going to make you brace your core more. It's going to be a fun workout. So this is from a Dutch guy in the Netherlands. Just do hills. I'm in Netherlands and it's all flat. Okay, first of all, bedankt dude. I've been to the Netherlands plenty of times. I have a good friend that lives out there. Beautiful area, but yes, it's very flat. I think you guys have one hill that you made to try to make a ski slope and it didn't work out. Okay, so find stairs. I know in this quarantine that's going to be hard, but find stairs at a stadium or something. Stairs are really good. But on flat ground, you can still challenge yourself with a ruck. If I'm just on mostly flat ground and I'm trying to do the EIB standard 12 miles in 3 hours, which comes out to 15-minute miles, that's kind of hard to beat if you're not allowing yourself to run. So if you're on flat ground, get a 35-pound ruck, which would be, 15 kilos maybe, 17 kilos, and try to beat 15-minute miles, which is, for you in the Netherlands, would be 1.6 kilometers. That's a mile. So try to do 1.6 kilometers in under 15 minutes. When you can beat that without running is cheating, then step it up, try to beat 14 minutes. When I'm on flat terrain and I'm booking it, I'm trying to beat 13.5-minute miles every single mile. And that is a workout, believe me, without the hills. All right, so this is a funny one I had to throw in there because I see it a lot on all my videos. Nice video, it would be better without the language. Okay, dude, show me on this doll where the veteran hurt you. No, I mean, I'm a combat veteran, former grunt. This channel screams veteran. Absolute veteran is the freaking title. I try to limit my F-bombs. I try to work on my language a little bit. 10 years ago, it would be an F-bomb every other sentence, or every sentence, actually. I get this a lot, so I appreciate you guys stopping by. Maybe you see the title and you want that to be helpful. If you just can't deal with the language, there's 1,000 other videos like mine, most of them better, so go check them out. This is a veteran channel. I'm an open dude. I'm honest, all right? All right, this is going to be a lengthy one, but it's pretty important. What do you put in the ruck, and how do you evenly distribute it? Okay, I have my Alice pack that's usually set up for camping, and all I do when I'm going rucking, just balls to the wall, moving, I just take off all the extra crap off the outside. Anything that could throw my weight off or swing around when I'm moving, like people put their sleeping bags on the bottom. I don't do that, but if I had a winter setup on the bottom, I would take that out. I do have an Alice pack loadout video. You go check that out. That's my winter setup, and I have made some changes to it. So I might do a summer loadout video, and I might do an updated winter loadout video. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that, and I'll do it. But typically, it's just anything I go to hike with, and then I kind of strip it down on the outside so, nothing's weird. If you don't have camping stuff to throw in there, you can throw whatever you want in there. You could put, like, if you have weight plates, you could just put those at the top and make sure you secure it some kind of way to where it's not falling all over the place. One of my favorite things about rucking with the Alice pack is this top pouch up here on the inside. People call it a radio pouch. I don't know why. In 17 years of service, I've never seen people put a radio in it. I was a RTO for years in the infantry. I never put a radio in it. Maybe some older guys can help me out with that. I don't know. But either way, this pouch is up high on your back, and you could put dumbbells and other weights in there. Sometimes I've gone out with this thing almost empty, or I wanted to ruck and I was in a hurry. I'd throw some jackets in there to just fill the ruck up a little bit, and then I'd put a dumbbell up in here and cinch it down, and it's going to sit right up here up against the top part of your back, and it's perfect. Right now, since I have my camping stuff in there, I do like to have my Camelback while I'm walking so I could just sip and I don't have to stop and drink a canteen. Well, actually, this is an MSR dromedary bag, which is way better than a Camelback. I'm sorry, guys. This is much better. So this is a 4-liter dromedary bag. I put it up in this radio pouch and cinch it down. So I got my water source, which is the most awkward part of my load, right up here on my upper back. It's not going anywhere. It's not shifting. I got the straw coming out the side, and it's good to go. So that's probably a really good way to do it. And even if I have this thing full of camping stuff, if I'm walking a lot in the summertime for camping, I'll still put this up here in the top because it's out of the way of the rest of the crap. But you just need to figure out whatever ruck you have, where you can put weights or whatever, and, you know, just check it out. So real quick, with the combat fitness mentality, it's awesome to see civilians getting into that. But you have to remember, with weight distribution, that doesn't matter when you're doing like military fitness, which is rucking. You know, you're never going to have an even rucksack. Your weight's never going to be distributed. In 17 years of service, 4 years as a grunt, after the first mile, sometimes half mile, I would always notice my load was a little off, no matter how well I packed it. It just happens. So just remember, you want to try to get it pretty even, but that's not a make or break situation. Like a little bit of extra variables in your training, like an unevenly distributed load, that's always good. Whenever you can add different variables to training, do it. Okay, so the last one is cool because it's kind of ball busting, but in my Rucking for Beginners video, I mentioned the EIB standard, Expert Infantryman's Badge, which when I did it is 12 miles in under 3 hours. That equates to 15-minute miles if you want to be right around 3 hours. So in this video, I didn't mention the entire 12 miles in 3 hours. I just threw out my pace to meet that. So I said the EIB standard's like, you know, I think I said 4 miles in an hour. Okay, so this guy's like, the EIB is 12 miles in 3 hours. Do you even have one, and do you know what you're talking about? Awesome. I love some ball busting stuff. So yeah, I do have my EIB. I earned it in 2005 in Kuwait, which was brutal. You know, we were waiting to go up north to Ramadi. We didn't have shit to do in Kuwait, Camp Buehring, besides train. And our brigade was like, hey, you know, guys are already away from their families. They're already depressed and stressed out. Let's make them do a EIB. So we were all pretty pissed about it. I think most of us earned it, and it was just brutal. You know, but at the time, the EIB, the Ruck March, was a prerequisite. So I know they changed it up over the years, and I think they went back to the original version. But basically, you had to do your PT test, shooting, rucking, and land nav before you could even start your EIB testing. What sucked was we did it in the sandy Kuwait, Camp Buehring. If you guys have been there, you know what I'm talking about. It was brutal. Just loose sand everywhere. So they let us wear assault packs, but it still had to be 35 pounds. And then we had to wear, since we were deployed, we had to wear our IBAs, our vests with plates. And a lot of guys had those side plates on. And you also had to carry your assigned weapon. So I had an M4 with grenade launcher and all the bullshit attachments with it, which was pretty damn heavy. Designated marksman with the I think it was M21s. It was like a synthetic stock and modular rail system, but an M14. I think it was called a 21. So they had to carry those. Saw gunners had to carry their saws. It was brutal. So anyway, me and my buddy calculated, and we're like, all right, we got to do 15-minute miles. We don't want to run. It's stupid. Because when you get an EIB, there's nothing on your EIB or the certificate or the badge that shows what your ruck time was. So you had guys trying to beat 2.5 hours running most of it. And I was like, dude, I don't want to friggin' run around the desert. He's like, me neither. I'm like, all right, well, we got to, every mile we need to look. If we haven't done it in 15 minutes or less, we need to pick up the pace. And that worked out. I think we finished in around 2 hours and 58 minutes. We didn't care about our time as long as we passed. And it worked out too well. I had a massive blister, but that was mainly because of the loose sand we were walking on. So yeah, thanks for calling me out, dude. We all need that. I do have my AIB. I'm glad I did it. It was a shitty place to do it, but yeah, so a lot of my rucking experience comes from my infantry days and then just keeping up with it, and then my degree in sports and nutrition adding to the science of everything, and that's kind of why I still kept up with rucking. So thank you guys for the questions. I really appreciate the support. I'm glad to see you guys are digging the actual advice and tips videos. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. 17 years of service. I got all this shit in my head. I could talk to a few guys on my unit and give them some advice. Whether they listen or not, I can't help. Or I can just throw it out on the internet and whoever's interested takes it, and I can hit a lot more people that way. If you want to see anything else from this video, hit me up down below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for the support. And until then, make sure you get outside, enjoy some weather, get those endorphins flowing in your brain, do some physical fitness, clear your mind, you know, get lost in your own head, get lost in nature. And don't take life too seriously, guys. See you next time.